The train moved through the fog like a ghost returning to where it had died. Elara sat by the window, her face reflected faintly in the glass, pale and blurred by the drizzle. The countryside slipped by. Forests, half-horizon fields, the occasional lonely house standing like a memory no one wanted to live in anymore. She hadn't seen this part of the world in 15 years. The last time she'd been a girl of 17, running away with a suitcase full of clothes and anger, promising herself she'd never come back. But promises made in pain are rarely promises kept. Her mother's death had called her home, and here she was, headed back to the house at the edge of the lake. When the train stopped at the small station, the sky was the color of steel. The platform was empty. The town looked smaller than she remembered, though maybe it was her that had grown. Not taller, just heavier with years and things left unsaid. She walked the familiar road with her suitcase rolling behind her, the gravel crunching beneath her boots, the air damp and full of pine. Every turn of the road brought back something. The school where she'd been too quiet, the bakery that always smelled like warm apples, the curve where she'd fallen off her bike and cried until her mother found her. Everything was still there, just quieter, older. The house appeared slowly between the trees. Its paint had faded to a pale gray, the roof sagging a little, the porch still leaning toward the lake as if listening to it. She stopped at the gate and stared for a long time. In her memory, the house was always alive, her mother humming, a cat sleeping in the window, sunlight spilling through lace curtains. Now it looked like it had exhaled and forgotten how to breathe back in. Inside, the air smelled of dust and lavender. Her mother's scent lingered like a ghost too stubborn to leave. Elara stood in the doorway, her hand on the frame, and whispered a small hello. No one answered, but something in the house seemed to shift, like a sigh in another room. She walked slowly through the hall, her fingers brushing the wallpaper, the pictures, the little details she had forgotten, the crack in the floor by the piano, the dent in the stair rail from when she'd slammed a door too hard. Everything remembered her. She left her suitcase by the couch and wandered into the kitchen. There was a cup still on the counter, turned upside down to dry, as if her mother might walk in any second. The calendar on the wall still showed the month of March, the month she'd died. Elara took it down, her hands trembling. Underneath the calendar, a small envelope had been pinned. Her name was written on it in her mother's handwriting. She hesitated, then opened it. Elara, if you're reading this, I suppose I've finally run out of time. You always said the lake scared you. You were right to be afraid, though not for the reasons you think. Look in the piano. There's something there that belongs to you. The note ended there, no explanation, just that strange instruction. The piano stood in the living room, silent and closed. She lifted the lid, her breath tight. Inside, beneath the strings, there was a small wooden box wrapped in a ribbon so old it had almost turned to dust. Inside the box, letters. Dozens of them, all addressed to her. She sat down on the dusty floor and read the first one. I never told you why your father left. I let you believe it was his choice because I thought that was easier. The truth is he never left at all. The lake took him. Elara froze. She remembered the night her father disappeared. The searchlights across the water, the whispers in town. They'd said he drowned trying to fix the boat. Her mother never spoke of it again.
The next letter was dated 2 weeks after that night.
The lake is restless. Some nights I hear footsteps on the pier. Sometimes the water ripples when there's no wind. I think it remembers too. She read until her eyes blurred. Each letter was like a thread pulling her deeper. Stories of her mother hearing music at night, finding her father's coat by the water, seeing lights under the surface. At first, Elara thought grief had driven her mother mad. But as night fell and the wind picked up, she began to hear things too. A faint note from the piano, though no one played it. A soft knock on the wall. The lake whispering against the shore like a voice learning how to speak. She couldn't sleep. Around midnight, she went outside. The air was cold, the lake perfectly still. The moon hung low, bright enough to show the outline of the pier. At the end of it stood a man. For a second, her heart stopped. The shape was too familiar. Broad shoulders, the same way of standing. But when she blinked, he was gone. Just the reflection of clouds sliding over the water. The next morning, she went into town. People recognized her, or rather, they recognized whose daughter she was. The old woman at the store stared at her for too long, then said quietly, "Your mother never left that lake alone." Every night she went down there, like she was talking to it. Elara walked back with groceries and a storm inside her. That evening she found another letter, this one hidden behind the mirror in her old room. "I know you think the lake is cursed, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's mercy, waiting. The water doesn't take what it hates. It takes what it can't let go." By the fifth night, she wasn't sure what was real anymore. She'd started hearing footsteps upstairs, faint humming in the hallway, the smell of her father's cologne drifting through the rooms. She found the last letter in her mother's wardrobe, sealed with red wax. "If I couldn't save him, I had to stay close. That's why I never left this house. One day you'll understand that love doesn't disappear, it just changes shape. When you hear the piano again, don't be afraid. It's just us, finding our way back." That night, the storm came. Wind howled through the trees, rain lashed against the windows. The power went out. Elara sat in darkness, the letters spread out around her like fallen leaves. Then she heard it, a note on the piano, just one, then another, a melody forming, slow and trembling. She walked into the living room, every hair on her arm standing. The keys moved. She reached out, touched one, and felt warmth. The melody shifted, not frightening, but familiar. Her father's favorite song, the one he used to hum when he tucked her in. Tears burned her eyes. "I'm here," she whispered. "I'm here now." The sound grew softer, like a lullaby. She could feel them both there. Not ghosts exactly, memories made gentle. The piano stopped, and the house felt lighter, as if it had finally exhaled. In the morning, the storm was gone. The lake shimmered in the sunlight, calm as glass. Elara packed her things slowly, but she didn't leave right away. She made tea, opened the windows, let the air move through every room. The house didn't feel haunted anymore, just lived in, deeply. Before she left, she took the box of letters and walked to the pier. She sat at the edge and watched the ripples spread across the water. "Thank you," she said softly. Then she let the letters fall, one by one, into the lake. They floated for a moment before sinking, paper turning dark, disappearing beneath the surface. When she stood, she noticed something strange. The reflection in the water showed 3 figures standing side by side. Her mother, and a man she barely remembered, but somehow still loved. Then the wind moved, and the reflection broke apart into light. She turned, walked up the path toward the road, and didn't look back. Behind her, the house stood quiet and peaceful. The lake glimmered. Somewhere in the distance, a piano played a single, gentle note.